What it do? It's your boy, Illuminated D, and you know what I'm saying? We back with another one. The first thing that I want to do is thank you to everybody who's liked and commented. And to all the subscribers, Pops and I want to let you know how much we really appreciate you. For you to come and spend your time with us and to consume the content while we understand that you have busy lives, as we do I. But yet and still, thank you for consuming the content, spending your time with us. We appreciate you. Bless. So, fresh off the holidays, and I know a lot of people coming in and they talking about they want to do the New Year's resolution. And I think a New Year's resolution is cool. Like if you've, what I'm saying, you've been off track a little bit, and it's okay. It's okay to get off track sometimes. And if you've been off track a little bit, get yourself back in the right mental space, start progressing towards a better future. And for the ones that stayed on track, continue doing what you're doing, stay steady, stay focused, stay grinding, stay motivated, stay positive, and continue to grind progressively towards a better future. So today's video is really for everybody. It can be for everybody. And I would say, right, I'm scared. I'm scared, right? I'm scared. I'm not scared, like, directly, like, but I'm scared, right? Because I've had so many friends. I'm gonna just be transparent here. I've had so many friends. Man, it hurts me down deep, bro. There's been so many times like where I was in a school or doing something and basically like you certain things in life just happen. And it showed me it was like not everybody got the opportunity to be here. Not everybody got the opportunity to be here. There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of trying times. People had different environments as kids that they had to survive. They had to be survival of the fittest or fall victim. It was either be the wolf or be the sheep. And if you were the sheep, then you were getting eaten. And they were going to eat you every day. They might not take you out. But what if one day they come and take an arm, a leg, finger? What if they take a finger every day of the sheep and they just break you down all the way, and then one day they just it's so sad because, man, like when I was 18, when I turned 18, really you can imagine like when I got into high school, right? Life was so fun. Up until 18, life was so fun because it's like most people didn't think about it. They'd be like, man, what was the difference, man? Back in the days, they'd be like, life was so fun. But what you don't realize is that your parents paid all the bills. Your parents paid the bills. I didn't understand the parents paying the bills. Let's talk about the bills. Right? So the parents paid the bills, so you outside having a good old time. I remember I had this situation when I first got my first car, and I didn't pay the insurance because I didn't understand how important it was not to let your insurance lapse, because if your insurance lapse, then they suspend your license. And then the fines just keep running up in the background. So when that got squared away, because they had to find that out, squared that away, got on my head top and started explaining to me why it was so important not to ever let your insurance lapse. And can you imagine how big of a situation that was? But that's not even like the half of it in life. You know what I'm saying? That's one bill. Imagine adding your phone bill onto that. Imagine adding the water bill, the garbage bill, the light bill, the gas bill, the food bill, the clothes bill, the shoes bill, The tax bill. The tax bill. I know maybe it seems like I'm a little over the top, but maybe, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to emphasize the fact of how important is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was 16 through like 23, I wasn't thinking about nothing except partying, right? And when I'm trying to think, I was in Germany at this time. I was in Vilseck, Germany. And I remember I just got back from a deployment. And I remember I came across this guy, Chris Crum, pretty much, and he started talking about real estate. Now you can understand, all I've been doing is turning up at this point. I've been partying, catching flight, catching wave, blowing a bag, getting a bag. You know what I'm saying? I was down in Lubeck. We were getting into exclusive parties, all type of crazy stuff. But can you imagine? Like, it sounds fun. The footage is there. You can go find the footage. The footage is, we don't cap. But what is that to glorify? It's crazy. It's like when I turned 23, it's like the light bulbs start clicking on, because when I started understanding, like, oh, what is passive income? Oh, I'm using my body to work. Oh, snap, I woke up tired today. Dang, I'm working extra hard for this money, and then this money can do this. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got real scared because I started thinking, what if I have to use my body to make money every single day at some point? And what happens when I turn 70? If I make it to 70, if God's willing, but what happens when you turn 70? If you go back and do the research on the videos in the past, like that we have, there was a 70-year-old couple that had to go back to work after their 401k ran out. It ran out. They retired when they were in their 40s, and the 401k ran out in their 70s. And then the buddy called and he said, hey, Mr. Johnson, it's looking like your 401k's kind of low. Have you ever thought about picking up a part-time job? Oh, Mr. Pete, I'm 70 now. What you mean go back to work? Well, it's looking like the 401k's about to run out, and you only got about 5 months. So if you don't start adding into the 401k, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to pay all the bills. So that means that you're not going to be able to drive. That means that you can't pay your water bill. That means you can't pay your light bill. That means you can't pay the phone bill. That means you can't buy new clothes. You can't take a trip. You can't invest. There's a lot of things to this. And it started scaring me when I started learning this stuff, because I started looking at it like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my team? What's going to happen to my friends if we got to work every single day with no source passive income? It started me up. It really started messing me up. And I want to let you all know that I care about you all. So I think that it's time that we kind of switch up the conversation. And sometimes, I'm saying, I'm still going to turn up, have a great time. Sometimes I'm still going to pop a bottle. That's just what's going to happen. But I think that at this moment, going into 2025 will be the perfect time to have the conversation, because what are you going to do? What do we do? You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves the dollar. I love the dollar. I trade in crypto because I want to get more dollars. You're absolutely right. That's the point. We don't want dollars to go anywhere. We're not saying dollars are bad. I love the dollar. What are you talking about? Love the dollar. But at the same time, I love my investment too, just like people in Wall Street love their stock. But that is besides the point. The question is, what are you doing as my teammate? You're my teammate. If you subscribed and you're watching this video, you're my teammate. So my job as your teammate is to make sure that you are in a position to be able to capitalize off of this innovation that is coming into the world and be there before the herd gets there. I know that doesn't make any sense, but remember, if you got 1,000 sheep and then all 1,000 sheep are grazing on a patch of grass, that patch of grass is going to get swallowed up. So you can imagine NVIDIA 10 years ago, 11 years ago was super cheap. Then instantly it turned into $1,000. And then they had to split the stock share. And if that doesn't make any sense, what it means is that at the very beginning there was no sheep. So those couple sheep, they were eating. They were just eating it up. Bah, bah. They were eating up the grass, and they were eating it plentifully, not even knowing that at some point when all the other sheep came, that land became very expensive for the shepherd, right? So the shepherd came in and wanted profit. So boom, now the big stock market comes and throws them millies into that shit and instantly swallows it all up. So that means that the beginning sheep, they left. They went on to the next thing because now, it's profitable. It doesn't make sense to eat there anymore because everybody's there. So you want to find specific products and be able to eat before everybody gets there. And then when everybody gets there, now, the land appreciates, and then you just go on to the next project because you've already eaten, you're full, you're good, and then you go. Now everybody else is fighting for position. You see what I'm saying? But before you ever get there, because I know I'm jumping details, but before you can ever get there, you have to ask yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself. Going into 2025, you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, what's my vision? Ask yourself, what's your vision? And then ask yourself, okay, well, how am I making money? How much money is coming in? Is it only coming in on the 1st and the 15th? Let's start very simply. Is it only coming in on the 1st and the 15th? You need to make sure that if it's only coming in on the 1st and the 15th, you need to make sure that somewhere like in the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, now you got a couple more greens in there. Maybe the 11th and 12th, you got 2 more greens in there. So that means that instead of you spending on water, gas, sewage, lights, clothes, you got bing, $100. So water, light, bing, $200. Gas, oh shit, bing, $200. You see what I'm saying? You should be expense, passive income, expense, passive income, expense, passive income, passive, expense, passive. Does that make sense? So as if it is a synchronicity, it should be very specific. Expense, passive, expense, passive. And they should be battling each other out until some point you've invested so much to where all the expenses can be expense, passive, expense, passive, expense, passive. You see what I'm saying? That sounds so smooth. It sounds beautiful, right? It sounds beautiful. It sounds like you can buy a beach. It sounds like taking a trip down to Monaco, as Crypto 7 would say. It sounds like catching vibe, catching wave. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like NVIDIA. It sounds like financial freedom. So, with that being said, we all want to be successful. We all want to be somewhere in life. But, in order to do that, you got to do something that you ain't never done before. And sometimes you got to do research. And that's the reason that we're doing this right here, right now. Everybody be blessed, be safe. Moving into this new year, I hope everybody is blessed abundantly. Speak it over your life. Blessed abundantly, successful, protected, or glowed up. Late nights, early mornings, focus and grind. And all in due time. Sup. Bless. Peace.